miss. I call the shots, I never call it quits. Trust my intuition, bet it's right and bitch it often is. Seen too many others come and go, they had the wrong intent. Do it out of love and never for it, then I watch it get bigger than expected. Don't second guess it, I let it set in. It's God's plan, we out here only accepting blessings. I'm stuck with it, this mindset is terminal. In and out different terminals, leveling up is personal. And I already made it, y'all can miss me. It's hard to believe I made something from nothing. No hindsight discussions, I've been writing, I love it.
Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, just sometimes misinformed. This is Danny G, sitting alongside Rio and Jimmer tonight, and we've got a special guest. Who are we talking to tonight, Rio?
Tonight we got Cameron King with us. Cameron, how you doing tonight?
Doing great. How you doing?
We're doing pretty good here.
Good. Appreciate you taking time out of your day, my man.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Kind of kick this thing off. When did you start playing sports as a kid?
So, growing up, my dad honestly always wanted me to play every sport pretty much, playing soccer, basketball, football, just pretty much everything. And then as I got older, just picking the one that would help me progress the most. So I would say probably about maybe 7, probably.
Okay.
Okay.
So you said you did all those sports? Did you do a lot of travel sports, like especially the baseball part?
Yeah, always traveling ever since probably 10U, going to tournaments all over the country.
All over the country, not even just the state.
No, yeah, around the country.
Oh, smokes.
Wow.
Right
That's
on.
awesome. And where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I'm from Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Okay.
Okay.
Very cool. You started playing baseball and a lot of traveling. How did you get connected with these teams and playing? Is it something you kind of joined locally or how did that work?
It was a local team. You just kind of had to try out for. It was a travel team, and was thinking about playing rec ball, but a lot of those coaches told me I should try to, try out for a little bit of a more competitive team, and I tried out, made the team, and it just went from there.
Okay.
Beautiful. What other, I guess, so you took baseball pretty serious. Were there any other sports that you took as serious in the sense of traveling and things like that?
Football and baseball, yeah. I took football pretty serious all the way through high school pretty much.
Oh, would you play? What position did you play in football in high
I
school?
was a quarterback.
Quarterback.
Okay.
All right.
Snap. So what I happen to see here when we were kind of doing some research before talking to you, you were a shortstop for a while, it looks like, right?
That's right. Yep.
Well, then that's a pretty big change, shortstop to pitcher. What changed? Why'd you make that change, man?
Yeah, so honestly, I was committed to a Division I school out of high school. I ended up decommitting just because the numbers didn't work out right. And then I talked to Coach Mike at Lackawanna College, the school I was just previously at. And Josh Boggs, the pitching coach, was actually he trained me in Maryland before he got the job there. So it was a pretty good fit. And, I went there playing shortstop, and my coach was like, man, why don't you just get on the mound, see what happens? And I was like, all right, let's do it. I threw a pen, and I was like 89 to 91. And he basically just told me, he was like, if you want to take this sport to the professional level, you just need to be a PO.
Wow. Just out there winging fastballs like that.
Yeah.
I saw one like that one time, and then I tore my oblique. That was by my co-host here.
I threw that, so
He did throw that, and it was softball.
yeah. So you go into high school, and so you're pretty much just playing 2 sports then, baseball and football, correct?
That's right.
So how did your seasons go, respectively, in high school in both football and baseball? How did you do as a team and on a personal level?
Yeah, so I stopped actually playing football after my freshman year.
Okay.
It's just the risk of injury was too much for playing baseball. Like if I land wrong, hurt my arm or something, there goes my main sport season. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
that was pretty much the issue with that. But seasons wise, baseball was great. Played at a really, really good private school team. Was on varsity as a freshman. Learned from a lot of the older guys, and they really just helped me mature. And that's why I was so happy I wasn't on JV, because the older guys really help you mature, and I think that's what helped with a lot of my success throughout high school.
Okay,
Yeah, definitely.
No, I'm digging that. Did you get much? So you said you didn't start pitching until you went to college, though, right?
That's right.
Okay, so when you were playing varsity, you were actually starting at shortstop too?
No, I was playing second base.
Playing second base at the time?
Pretty small, a little too small at that time.
Okay, to make that. Yeah, I have full faith. You could have probably made that throw across there, right, from shortstop?
I think so.
Heck yeah. So you do a bunch of learning your freshman year. How did the team do that year?
So we made it to the private school state championship, and unfortunately lost first round to a really, really solid team at the time.
Damn. All right. So when did you transition over to shortstop then?
So I played, honestly, shortstop. In travel ball, I played shortstop. But once I got to high school, there was a senior who was playing shortstop at the time. And he was a lot bigger, a lot faster, just a lot more mature than I was at the time. So I was pretty much under his wings. He was pretty much helping me out, playing second base, and then eventually made the transition over to shortstop.
So I have a question for you on a little bit more personal basis. My sons play baseball. More specifically, my youngest son plays travel ball. In fact, at state tournament this upcoming weekend. I'm curious what advice you have for any ball player, ranging all the way up even through high school. What they should be, what would help fine tune their game, things that maybe you didn't quite realize until you got a little later on that maybe it could be fast tracked, like stuff that they personally can work on that would crispen up their game.
Yeah. The big thing for me was I pretty much every time I go out on the field, I would lace up my cleats, get ready to go out. And then the big thing for me was I would just make sure everybody knows how much I love the game. I would run out on the field, run on and off the field. I would just have fun. I'd be talking a lot, just showing how much I'm passionate about the sport. Was a big thing for me. And a lot of scouts even came up to me and told me that they love that part about me. And I think that's a big thing that for a lot of kids that they don't realize is, you need to show these scouts, you want to be there. You want to win. You want to compete. You want to be that guy for them. And that was the big thing for me. A lot of scouts look for stuff like that in a player. So that's the big thing for me, for sure.
Okay. I like that.
It's a good tip. Yeah.
I'll make sure my son listens.
No,
The kid's super competitive and loves every part of baseball, but sometimes he takes it a little too serious. Sometimes you just got to chill, right?
I know how that feels. I was like that all the way and through high school too, honestly.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And you're stepping on the mound after playing in the infield that long, and today's baseball is so positionless. It seems like we see guys pitching that play in the field, vice versa. And so I'm sure anybody looking at you is definitely loving the aspect that you can do both, or could do
That's
both
right.
for them for sure. So talking about the rest of your high school career, how did the next 3 years go?
So sophomore year, I started to see, I was in the starting lineup. I believe I even was batting either in the 1 or 2 spot at that time. Was just really having a lot of success. And in Maryland, private school baseball is big. A lot of solid teams around here. And just being able to, help my team win in the 1 or 2 spot, playing second base, that was just a big highlight for me, I would say. And then going into junior year, same success. And then senior year was really when I started playing shortstop a lot, starting. But junior year, it was kind of second base, shortstop, flipping back and forth a little bit.
Okay.
So how about team success? How'd you guys do junior, senior year then?
Junior year, we kind of struggled a little bit. It just wasn't our year. A lot of seniors left, a lot of younger guys. But senior year came, and there was just COVID, which was terrible.
Yeah.
Took my senior season away.
Yes.
So that was unfortunate. But I can tell you right now, with the kids we had, we were going to be, honestly, probably state champs. I believe that.
Okay. So you're feeling that good about
Definitely.
it.
Tough
Yeah,
road.
for sure.
Heck yeah. So you said you committed to a Division I school. As you're going through the high school process, what kind of recruitment were you getting before ultimately coming out of high school?
Yeah, so I would go to a lot of local showcases with my team. My team played at like George Washington University, schools like that, and a lot of like local Division I schools, like schools in like Virginia, Maryland, and some down south schools, but mainly kind of local schools were really the ones talking to me in high school.
Okay. And did you have a favorite? I mean, obviously you said you committed and decommitted, but what were a couple of favorites there? And then who did you ultimately commit to before decommitting?
Yeah, so a couple of my favorites, I really liked Radford University at the time, but it just didn't work out, unfortunately, because they committed a few too many shortstops at the time, and of course I was playing shortstop, and then it was pretty much between them and the school I was committed to was Iona.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
And ended up decommitting.
And why was that? You were just saying it just kind of didn't work out. Make sense for you then?
Yeah, it was just smarter for me to go JUCO, I felt.
Okay.
Okay.
Just help with the growth and all that.
Exactly.
Right. So it looks like you just recently committed to Mount St. Mary's.
Correct.
Is that correct? And then, so you going into this next season here, what are two-part? Number one, what do you feel you need to work on the most to take your game to the next level? And then, is there anything they specifically maybe said, hey, can we start looking at this? I don't know if it's another pitch on top of that. Because what I can see, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you do what do you do? You throw a fastball, changeup, and a curve, right?
Yeah. Well, recently I added a kind of a wipeout slider too.
Okay.
And was working on a cutter too, but I'll just keep the slider for right now. The cutter's a hard pitch to throw.
That is.
But,
Absolutely. But what's one thing that you feel you definitely need to get honed in on before the next season comes in?
Yeah, I would definitely say just probably, I want to work on my curveball a little bit more. I pretty much live off of my changeup. My changeup's by far my best pitch. And it's just successful. Like you can't really teach how to hit a changeup, honestly. But yeah, landing the curveball, I want to try to land it 0-0, even when I'm down in counts, even maybe like a 1-0, 2-0, where they're thinking fastball's coming, throw a curveball in there for a strike. Be confident in that pitch like that.
Okay.
That's probably the biggest thing for me to work on for sure.
Okay, I'm digging that.
Very cool. So you already committed to this school. If you were giving yourself a scouting report, what do you say that you bring best to a team that brings you on? How do you describe yourself, I suppose?
Yeah, I just like to really stay humble, but in the way that I still show, I love being a leader. I love, I'll get on my teammates if I have to, if I see that they're not, pulling their weight sometimes. And, I just like to bring a winning feel to my team. I like to bring energy. I'm a very energetic player. I'm always hyping up my team, good job on stuff. And if somebody's struggling, I'll go up and talk to them and try to help them out. But, being a leader, I feel is so important nowadays. I just feel like a lot of teams don't have a strong leader sometimes.
Yeah,
that's big time.
That is big time. Is there an MLB player that you maybe see yourself, their game in yourself, or that you compare yourself to?
Yeah, so one of the players that my throwing coach actually compared me to was Tyler Glasnow.
Okay.
We have kind of similar like arm action, mechanics, stuff like that. Obviously, he's throwing 100 miles an hour, and I'm not yet. But I would definitely say him. He brings a lot of energy.
You are emphasizing the yet part, though.
Yeah, the yet.
The yet. So
right.
he's like, I'm getting there. That's going to happen.
That's right.
I got it. So build off that same question right there. So you have to have a favorite MLB team, right?
That's right. I'm a big Orioles fan.
Are you?
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Oh, ouch.
Hey, they've been rolling recently.
They have
right?
been.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
8 straight. Yeah.
I'm a faithful fan. Even when they're bad, I'm still a fan.
I don't appreciate that regardless,
Definitely.
right? So, past or present, who's your favorite player then?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I always used to tell people because I was a tiny second baseman in high school. My favorite player always used to be Dustin Pedroia. He was always my favorite player because he was just small but making it look like he was the biggest player on the field.
Yeah.
And even though I'm pitching now, I still feel it. I still love his game. I'll probably say him. But
Okay.
on the pitching side, I really like Bueller. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I love what he brings to the table.
I love the stuff, the makeup, the swagger I feel he has on the mound to take
right.
control of the game, and he's going to be one of those next ones to come up and dominate the game for years to come, I feel like.
100%.
So I was thinking the exact same thing with Pedroia when you said that, though, because like how you explained your own playing and your own personality, that's what I remember of Dustin Pedroia out there. Like it doesn't matter. He might not have looked like he definitely wasn't 6 foot. He probably would have wished, but he was always like full. He was always like full of energy and hyped and ready to rock. And once something good happened, and usually great for that matter, you just see him like erupt. But it never seemed like he fell too far down either. Like even when the stuff wasn't going that way.
That's right.
So we're learning a little bit about some of you cats out there in Maryland. We actually interviewed another guy earlier this year, Miles Levere. He's at, how close is Prince George to where you're going?
Well,
Mount St.
Miles and
Mary's.
I actually, we were just talking the other day.
What?
That is awesome.
That's funny. Yeah, him and I, we've hit together before. When I used to hit, sadly don't swing it anymore. Sometimes I do in BP though. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So did you guys play together when you were younger, or like how'd you guys connect?
No, we actually met. I want to say it was on Twitter. He liked one of my videos, followed me, and he was telling me where he was from and all that. And I was like, we got to hit sometime. And I ended up seeing him at the training facility by my house. And that's just how we met.
Hey man, that's pretty neat.
That's a small world. Right now.
That is
That's awesome.
a story.
Absolutely.
For these three guys in north central Iowa, man, to talk to you two, that's crazy. That is just
Hey, we know how to find talent, though. That's what happens.
That's right. Just finding studs all over the place. Happen to be from the same place.
Right.
So who do you feel? You already gave us one who's playing right now, and obviously a stud. Who's the best position player in baseball right now? Do you feel?
Probably Byron Buxton, right?
Get out of here.
Wow. That's a tough question. Like Adley Rushman and them on the Orioles, though, I got to say.
love it.
Yeah, he just got called up not too long ago, and
That's right. He's been a stud.
doing his thing. Yeah, for sure.
Balling out, man. I love it.
Yeah. So if you had a pick for, just say, a D1 school come calling, who would you pick to play for? Any team they come and offered you, say every Division I team in college came and offered you a scholarship, where would you say you wanted to play?
I'll be honest, this probably isn't the answer you're looking for, but the thing for me would be wherever I'm going to be a starter. That's the big thing for me. I'm going to go there, most likely be the Friday night guy and help them win and help myself develop is the big thing for me.
Okay.
All right. So let's lead into this then. So you ultimately made the change to pitcher, it sounds like, because you're hoping for an opportunity to go to the big leagues, right?
Correct.
So that's, I mean, big picture, that's the goal. But let's say that doesn't happen. What are you going to end up doing, Cameron?
So, honestly, I was thinking about going to law school, either doing that or I was going to go into real estate.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely baseball is the move, I think, out of those. Let's go that route.
For sure. I just hope I don't have to go to school for extra years.
Right. No, I was going to say, I have full faith. Especially, it sounds like you're pretty damn committed and you take it pretty serious on a fun
For
side,
sure.
of course. But
Well, if you're slinging that thing 90 and you have not been doing it for very long, that's just, you got nothing but the sky's the limit, man. Shit.
Right.
That's right. For sure.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Matt Bush back in the day. He was an infielder, made the transition over to pitcher. At some point was out of MLB, and then he threw for the Rangers scouts in like a Golden Corral parking lot. And,
Wow.
yeah. So
That's crazy.
yeah, he had some other problems going on. You know, he was dabbling in some other stuff he shouldn't have been, but then ultimately got clean. And then they took a look at him as a pitcher, ended up coming back, and he's played several years. He's still with the Rangers right now, but so anything's definitely possible, man.
That's right.
100%.
You just started throwing, so as a pitcher, so sky's the limit for sure.
Yeah, so you have what? 3? Did I see 3 years of eligibility left?
Yep. I'm going to be a sophomore.
Okay, that's plenty of time, brother.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
Yeah. I agree.
So, what's it looking like going into Mount St. Mary's? Is it looking like you're going to be a part of that rotation right out of the gate, or bullpen on up, or what's the feel there?
So after talking with the coaches and stuff, that's kind of hoping that's the plan. Obviously nothing's handed to me, but I'm confident in myself that I'll be able to go get that. And the way the coaches believe in me too, it's just a perfect opportunity, I feel.
Hey, without me full blown looking it up, hook me up here. Where's Mount St. Mary's at?
Mount St. Mary's is in Emmitsburg, Maryland.
Okay. All right.
So what made you pick them when you committed to them? What was the selling point there?
So there was honestly recruiting got really busy for me this past year, but I was kind of down to a couple schools.
Yeah, can you let us
like-
know who they were?
Yeah, so I was talking to schools. It was like Richmond, Dayton, Monmouth, kind of schools like that. And there was one school across the country that I was really interested in was Washington State, but that was just too far. And but Monmouth, and honestly, I was kind of pretty much about to commit there, honestly. But Coach Leone called me from Mount St. Mary's, and he just told me, he was like I'm taking over this team, whole new coaching staff. He's bringing in his guys. He wanted me to be a part of that. And Coach Leone, I'll be honest, is one of the most genuine guys I've ever talked to in my life. I feel like I could call him right now, and if my girlfriend broke my heart or something, I could talk to him about it, and he would talk to me. And we just started talking not long ago. And he just made me feel at home. Like, I've never felt so comfortable with a coaching staff in my life. And all 3 coaches are great. So that was definitely the big thing that sold me on that school for sure.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, very cool.
So, if you don't mind here, Cameron, we do this segment here called Rio's Randoms. My man here throws out 3 questions, kind of like a would you rather based, a little off the wall, nothing too serious. Would you be down to do some of that?
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
All
Let's
right,
go, baby.
here we go. You know what time it is, folks? It is time for Rio's Randoms. Brought to you by Bo's Power Washing out of Belmont, Iowa. Make sure to hit him up for all your cleaning, power washing, mowing, snow removal needs. He'll hook you up. Hit him up at 641-903-1720. Tonight on Rio's Randoms, first up, would you rather be able to read minds or move objects with your mind?
I would definitely rather read minds. I want to know what people are thinking, like everybody, even in baseball. Like, I want to know what a scout thinks about me and stuff like that without having to ask him.
That's a good twist.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, he could be thinking, God, I wish he threw more curveballs or something. You're like, I got you, baby.
Right.
Like,
Man, I wish he was a knuckleballer
Yeah.
or something.
That's right.
So that's a very dangerous game, being able to read minds, because I know, like, some of the looks I get from my wife, that I know whatever she's thinking is not going to be pretty. So sometimes I'd just rather leave it with the face look, the facial expression. Move stuff with my mind is where it's got to be, I think, for me.
Right. You could bring that to the baseball field too, right? You throw the pitch and then you just kind of dance it up the.
Just kind of move it right around the bat.
There you go.
Move it right around the bat.
Oh yeah.
Or I can move the bat for him before the ball. Right
go.
when the ball is like plenty short, right?
Swing right under the pitch.
Right.
Okay.
Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going moving with your mind for sure. I don't want to know what people are thinking at all.
Oh hell
It's
no.
not. That's
Yeah.
dangerous. No.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so. If in his instance, what he's talking about, I would assume is
Makes sense for him 100%.
Well, he's thinking about, like, I can shut out, because you're not thinking like what women want. Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen that movie or not, but where he can't control what he's hearing.
Right.
You're saying that you can control. Like I'm like looking at Danny and I can hear only what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, that may not be necessarily a bad thing either.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I don't want to hear my wife's thought process.
Yeah. Until you go to get busy with your wife and you whip it out, and she's like, her thought is like, oh, that's it.
No, I'm used to that. She said that out loud. I don't need to wonder.
Jesus.
She's like, that's what you got?
Leah. Sorry.
She says, with all due respect, evidently I'm supposed to be okay with that.
As long as you say it at some point. Right? You got to start saying it before, though. It's number 2 on Rio's Randoms tonight. Would you rather be constantly sticky or constantly itchy if you had to pick one?
Damn.
Terrible.
That's
They're
terrible.
both terrible.
Yes.
Both terrible.
Probably sticky. I think being itchy is just the worst feeling ever, honestly. And if I had to do that every day, that's terrible.
Yeah, so my skin just just got eaten up by a bunch of mosquitoes, and it was driving me nuts with that itch, right? Yeah.
Mosquitoes in Maryland are so bad.
I bet, yeah. I was going to say they'd have to be over there on the coast, especially. But I like, even around here, we're getting a lot of flies that are biting and shit, too, and that starts itching a little bit. I would have to go with sticky, even though sticky, this is like a 1-2 for me.
It's hard, yeah.
So sticky would probably be the very closest thing to the itch. Like I don't like being sticky either.
Yeah.
Being sticky's terrible too.
Yeah.
It's like when you're trying to, like, eating pancakes or something, you get some syrup on your fingers. I just hate that feeling. Like,
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how my kids can do that shit. Snack away at stuff in their hand. And then we've talked about this. You ever seen a tablet used by a 4 or 5-year-old? It is horrendous. I'm like, what the hell was on your hands? You haven't even eaten anything today.
Right.
That is nasty.
Right, his hands come out looking like a lint roller, just like, ugh.
Right. What do you got, Rio?
Yeah. Story time. I got poison ivy one time everywhere, and that was the worst feeling ever. Like all the places you don't want it. And so, yeah, I'm going to have to go with sticky.
What are you doing, fucking streaking through the goddamn field?
I don't know. I was wearing a banana hammock. And anyways, you just start scratching. It starts going everywhere. And then next thing you know, it is literally everywhere. And I never want that feeling ever again. That was the worst thing ever. So I have to go with sticky, even though that's not a great one either.
Yeah, they're both terrible.
They're both terrible. But I just feel like in your mind, the itch drive yourself crazy.
Yes.
No, 100%.
First of all,
you never want to be itchy.
2 references from the other guys in like a week. Remember when that's how they met? Will Ferrell and his wife he went to the hospital with poison ivy in his ass.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I guess I don't remember that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go itchy. I'd rather be itchy because I feel like there could be some semblance of relief. You're scratching it and it for a second feels better, even though you still got to itch it again. I don't think sticky, I'm ever going to get that. It's always going to be sticky.
Okay.
It's going to be annoying as shit. So that's my logic.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I could see that too. I got you.
kind of get a little bit of relief from scratching the
At least
itch.
think you're getting relief.
Thank you,
Either way,
Yeah.
your life is hell.
Yeah,
So
either
gotcha.
way.
It's not
Gotcha.
great.
Worst environment imaginable. That's all you got to say. Worst environment imaginable.
All right, and last up for Rio's randoms tonight. Would you rather pitch a perfect game or hit a walk-off home run to win the World Series?
Like, for real, I love pitching. I'm really getting used to it, but hitting a walk-off to win the World Series would be insane. I don't think there would be a better feeling.
Yes.
Ooh.
So this is a little difficult. I'm gonna have to still go with the walk-off home run though, because whatever city you did that for, you're never buying an alcoholic beverage yourself ever again.
It's true.
Never again are you walking into. It doesn't matter what team it's for. Let's say it's for my lowly Twins, and they do that. You go into Minneapolis, any of those sports bars, you're never gonna have to pay for another drink ever again. Maybe not a
That's
meal.
it, and, like,
maybe not a meal either.
Yeah, and like with pitching, like I love like I care about my team a lot more than myself. And pitching a perfect game, that's a lot of clout for yourself. But hitting a walk-off home run, that's for your team. So I really like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I think the perfect game, like there's only been so many, right, ever in history, so it's a big deal. But you also, a lot of times that happens in their shitty teams. The pitcher just gets lucky or, kind of lucky.
That's right.
Quotes, right? And they still have a shitty season, and the perfect game is great, but then it's over.
And you forget
The
about
home run
them.
and you
And
forget
about them.
Exactly.
Like, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless it was a huge name guy in the first place,
Right,
like if it was one of the main 5 studs of the season anyways and he did that, then maybe you remember, oh yeah, he threw a perfect game.
Yep.
Nobody's
of course. Like,
nobody's
Kershaw's
forgetting.
throwing a perfect game, you're gonna know it forever.
Yeah.
That's always gonna be talked about.
Okay, all right. Thanks to shit on my parade because I'm pitching a perfect game.
I just hear y'all bash on the perfect game like, I should have gone first.
Yeah, I'm probably going to pitch that perfect game, get my name in the history books. I don't care if it's a
That would
shitty
be
team.
awesome, though.
That's.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah.
I just think that the feeling of it. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it is a lot on the pitcher, but the catcher's got to call it. The defense, still has to make the plays, and I think just a feeling of. Once you get to like that 7th inning, just a feeling of
Trying to keep
every
your nerves.
out, trying to keep the nerves. And I mean, that walk-off home run would be awesome in the moment as well. And I think, you win the World Series. But I think you get to that 7th inning on, it's like every out is like you're living on the
So
edge.
much
Is
pressure, yeah.
the pressure,
For sure,
and
exactly.
and then when you finally accomplish it, it would be such a rush. I'd probably have to go with the perfect game. Get your name in the record books.
So that
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome too.
So that right there, I didn't think about that part of it, and you're right because that moment that you're up to plate and you go and take that swing, there's a lot of pressure in that 5-minute swing right there. Maybe
It's not a build-up though.
yeah, it's not a build up like that because you didn't know you may even get up to that moment. So anything from like what
Exactly.
you're saying, that 7th inning on, you're constly
Yeah.
you start looking at your teammates like, don't fucking look at me,
Right? Don't
Don't you dare pat me on the back, don't you touch my
No, don't
goddamn
touch
head.
Talk about it.
That, you don't talk about it. You leave me the hell alone.
Right.
Yep.
You feel clean.
Have you gained any of those superstitions yet? Actually, we'll wrap up the music first before you keep going. And that was Rio's randoms.
Yeah, that tonight is all I've got for Rio's randoms. Make sure you hit up our guy Kevin Beauchart for all your cleaning, power washing, snow removal, and mowing needs.
All right, so I'm gonna turn that into a 2-parter. Number 1 is, what is your normal? What is something that you feel that you have to do, Cam? Like, no matter every game or anything that like kind of settle your nerves. And then, have you gained anything from becoming a pitcher? A new routine for just pitching? Like, there's something that you have to do for that.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm a very superstitious player. Everything has to be even numbers. Just a bunch of stuff like that. I'm just weird about stuff like that. So every time I wake up, I won't get out of bed until it's an even number. I know it's weird, but that's just how I am on game day.
Okay.
I go downstairs, eat. Like, I'm always making sure if I'm watching TV or something that the volume's an even number. I would say that's definitely my superstition.
All right, that's not bad.
Okay. Numbers.
Yeah, that's not too bad though. Like, I don't have super bad superstitions really.
No, just the even number. That's not.
But no one puts their hand in my glove though. That's the other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's almost like going up to like a bald man and rubbing his head, right? A grown ass man, you don't touch my head. Like same thing, don't touch my glove, right?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely not like, yeah, that's nothing weird. You know, like I wear one sock around the house for 2 hours, and after that, put the shoe on, and the other sock, and like, nothing weird. Nothing weird.
There's much worse than even
yeah,
numbers,
for sure.
man. Hell yeah.
If even numbers is it. So you try to make sure that your first pitch is like an even number fastball, or like fastball or mile per hour.
I wish.
Like you'd be able to clock it in like that. Be like, all right, we're set the
that would
tone.
probably make my day a lot better.
I like it. And then, so what do you do when you're not doing baseball, my man? What are you doing to like chill, relax, hang out with friends? But like, what is it that you're going to do?
You know, I would say I love fishing. I really, really got into that. My grandpa, he lived out in Iowa, but he lived with us for a while, and him and I would always go fishing. And you know, that's just something I always remember him with, and I just love doing it. It helps me relax. You know, I'm not worried about social media, anything, baseball. You know, it's just relaxing to me.
I like that. Hell yeah. I used to go fishing with my grandpa too. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
That being said, so how long, and I know how baseball can go. I mean, I know how long a person can train for, even here in Iowa, how this kind of, and we get some really shitty weather, but how many months out of the year do you train for baseball? I'm not talking about just weightlifting or anything like that. I'm talking about like mechanics, batting, everything. The whole works like that.
Yeah, honestly, every month.
Okay.
It doesn't stop. It's all year.
Okay. That's kind of what I figured too. Like I said, there's a lot of places around here that are starting to get a hell of a lot more into that part of it.
Yeah.
It's usually indoors by they do a lot of fall ball now. That wasn't a thing before. Like when I was a kid, that fall ball wasn't a thing. It was your normal league, and then when it was done, you know. Now it's going through the Go ahead.
It's honestly nice. Like I'm blessed too because my summer team actually has a facility right by my house, and it's 24/7. You know, you're on the team, you get the code, you can go whenever you want. So there's no excuse for me not to get my work in, honestly.
I love it.
Heck yeah. Hey, well, before we let you go, we know that playing sports at the next level in college is obviously a privilege. And is there anybody you would like to give a shout out and thank for helping you on your journey along the way?
You know, of course, my family, and you know, but my dad. You know, he always would take time out of his weeks, his weekends. You know, when he could be relaxing, he'd be driving me to tournaments. You know, getting me baseball stuff, and definitely, you know, both my parents. But you know, my dad, he was always there for me when I needed something for baseball or had to go far away for a tournament. He would take off work and, you know, go with me. So definitely, I would say all those people for sure.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. Hey, man, well, thank you for giving us your time tonight. It's been a pleasure. And hopefully we'll be able to catch up sometime, maybe during the season, talk about how it's going, you know, and how you've got sub-1 ERA going on and whatnot.
That's right, baby. We're excited to see the progress, man.
Yeah,
see that.
Maybe you'll see
fastball
me in a
pushing
couple
the chip.
years. I'm going to get my Tommy Johns here. See me on the rise.
Yeah, there you go. It's already partially there, especially on softball pitching, brother.
What's up, Doc? Give me that Tommy John.
But that being said, Cameron, it was a real pleasure having you on, my man. We do appreciate it. We appreciate the time you give, and one hell of an interview, my man.
Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. A lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, Cameron.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later.
We'll talk to you later, Cam.
Have a good one.
Sounds great. You too.
But
How crazy is it that he talked to Miles Levine like last week or whatever?
Yeah.
that's a small world, man. That's insane. Watched a little bit of his. I don't know if you guys got a chance to or not, but I watched some of his clips and stuff on there. And a little raw, but I think obviously when you just jump on the mound, there's so much potential there, and hopefully they're able to kind of hone that in for him.
Yeah.
He sounds pretty confident. That's key, number one. That's the very first thing that you need. You need to be able to be confident. So, impressive interview. Hopefully his career and season takes off. You heard it from 3 Gig Sports first if it does. So
You're welcome.
Pay attention.
You're welcome.
Interwebs.
just like our man Carlos, you seen that? I retweeted his thing, and did you see what he did to him? He like kicked that dude in like ribs or in the stomach, right?
Yeah.
And fucking dude just and almost he was almost like puking up there.
Yeah.
And Carlos kind of goes up. He's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to hit him. And he's like, well, he's not calling it yet, so he cracks one in there.
Yeah. It was really similar to the fight in Mason because he kicked him, and then the guy went down, and then he just started drilling him. It was like eerie. It was so similar.
Yeah.
But yeah.
One bad motherfucker right there.
Yeah.
That it is.
Speaking of which, you used to do a little MMA. How much would it take for you to get in the ring with that cat?
That cat?
That cat.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot?
10 grand at least.
10 grand?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
10
grand to get
Mike,
you up in there?
set it up.
Correct.
Mike, you heard the dollar amount. And you know that Chris is a shower. So even if he's getting mauled, he'll do it for every fucking round you put it in there for.
Mm-hmm.
10 grand.
Right, 10 grand.
Tax free.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
putting that out there. Yeah, you want to walk away with $10,000.
Right.
And he won't be in the right state of mind. So go ahead and write that for 3 Gig Sports, if you don't mind. We'll go ahead and take care of that check for him.
Whoa.
Business managers.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Business managers.
Yeah.
Right? You guys ready to roll with some news?
Let's go.
All right. So we talked the other night. Damian Lillard says that he's proud to be known for committing to one team. Lillard said a title wouldn't be as fulfilling elsewhere.
Yeah, I saw his tweet. Right. Talking about, guys want to jump ship, not grind through the hard times, basically, is what it come out to be.
Calling him out.
Yeah, I don't know. I always felt kind of there's been a dabbling of he's been definitely thinking about leaving Portland.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just speculation just because of some of the way how he's acted. So
As I say, it's kind of like today's society. Like, we were shocked that he did that, like took on that another 2 years, even though it looks like maybe that's more just us in the society thinking that you want to or you should. He did say in his news conference or whatever after the signing that he's had a lot of people in his ear to try to move him somewhere else or for him to go somewhere else. And ultimately, he didn't feel like he should.
Yeah. One or two things here. One, he's just setting up the excuse for why he's not going to get a championship. It's like, I feel better this way anyway, even though I won't get a championship. Okay, cool. Or two, he knows that somebody is coming on the way, and he's going to say, see, I didn't have to leave. I just brought somebody here, which is tomato, tomato. It's pretty much the same thing. You're bringing guys together. You know
I don't know. Hold on. Who gets bashed between LeBron and D Wade? You never hear anyone bash D Wade for that, right?
Yeah, but D Wade also had a chip before that.
He did. Absolutely.
I think that's a little different. And I guess if it was, say, KD, like we talked about the other day.
Okay, here's even a better one then. Nobody bashes Steph for KD coming, and Steph had a chip before that. KD gets murdered.
Yeah, I guess like when I say this, I'm thinking the way he's talking. He's acting like you guys are taking the easy route by going somewhere else. What's the difference between you going, say it's KD, going to play with KD somewhere versus him coming to play with you? You guys are still together, right?
Gotcha.
It's still that
you just were like you were just
wanted.
fortunate enough to stay with your team to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I love Dame Dollar, so I'm not trying to talk shit, but it seems like he is kind of setting the stage for like an excuse. Like, see, this is why I never won a chip.
Yeah, he said something along those lines too, that not getting a championship isn't. Of course, he wants one. He'll sit there and continue to fight, and he likes to, as long as they're competitive and have an opportunity to. He knows they'd be leaving everything on the court, so it wouldn't bug him near as much. Think he needs to talk to Charles Barkley.
No shit.
Who catches nothing but shit. Everything that anytime he has a conversation with anybody, it literally comes back to, how would you know? You never won a championship. What the fuck does that have anything to do with anything?
Yeah.
Right?
And, they haven't surrounded him with talent. They got rid of, talent, C.J. McCollum being the one. So I was surprised when this come out for sure.
John Wall on joining the Clippers. I don't have to be Batman every night for us to win. That's, I was to say, I don't know if, first off, I don't know if you needed to say it because we already knew that, and you haven't been Batman for a while.
Yeah.
And when you were Batman, you didn't win much anyway, buddy. You were great. You were great for that spurt.
Yep.
But you didn't win then either, so you didn't need to say it.
I do believe, because I'm a John Wall guy, because this is also in conversation with what he's had to endure the last 3 years. It wasn't just, and I guess I didn't realize this. I don't know if you guys did or not, but
I saw that too.
The thing with he lost his mom and his grandmother. Then he also obviously had the Achilles rupture. Now, usually that tends to end careers, but the last 3 to 5 years, that hasn't really been a career ender necessarily, the Achilles. So hopefully he can come back and just be, decently shades of himself. And
yeah.
There'll be a
he'll
hell
fit
of a
right in. He'll fit right in, right? Paul George misses plenty of time every year. Kawhi Leonard misses every
every
plenty of
season.
time every year.
When was it last time he played? Kawhi.
Yeah. So he'll fit right in, I guess.
I think I gained more respect for Paul George last year than any other year that he's ever played. Right? Because he had nobody. He didn't have Kawhi, he had any of that. And then when everyone was talking shit, he actually raised his game up, which I didn't know he actually could. Because it's almost like
that, yeah.
He almost seemed to shrink in the moment. Mm-hmm. Right?
I do. I think Ty Lue's a good coach too. I do.
Yeah.
I genuinely think he's a good coach.
If you just sometimes if you just let a coach be a coach and let him do his philosophy, sometimes it works out pretty well instead of butting into it, right? Free agent offensive tackle Dwayne Brown was arrested in L.A. International Airport on Saturday for possessing a concealed weapon. Brown, a 5-time Pro Bowl selection, posted $10,000 bond and was released from custody. He played with the Seahawks last year.
Got to stay strapped out in these streets.
No doubt.
Got to stay strapped so you don't get capped. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Know what you're talking about.
So
Got you.
$10,000 walk of the streets, no problem, right? Now, I think it was Rio that kind of opened my eyes a little bit more on this one, but we do realize Brittany Griner's still in for marijuana, right? For a pen.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you. You actually turned me the other way where it was like, you know what? You still broke the law that you know that it was in a different, in a hardcore country too. You didn't do that. So that's what their stipulations are. And I went back and looked, and that's actually kind of what they give. You're lucky. If you get out, it's purely by name right now. Everybody else actually spends, I think it was 2 to 5 years for that. That's what the sentencing record is.
Well, she was bashing the United States, how she didn't want to live here, and it was a horrible country, and then now it's not so bad.
All of a sudden, she's handwriting letters to President Biden, begging
to bring her back. So,
oh, it's weird.
I saw a fucked up meme. 144 days clean.
I love the internet. So fucked up. Jalen Ramsey sparks Twitter discussion with Richard Sherman and Aqib Talib. Stack up my first 6 seasons in the league to any corner in history. 3-time first-team All-Pro and 5-time Pro Bowler. Who else did that? It's only 2 in history with a resume like mine in 6 years. He's wrong, but actually he's wrong more to a positive of his credit. There's only been one, and that was with the AFL. It was the Buffalo Bills, a dude that had the same credentials, but he only played a total of 7 seasons. So he played 2 more anyways.
Right.
But all these guys started turning it kind of into a challenge, right? Not a challenge because they're respecting respect. It's no one true shit talking.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know if you saw that too. They're throwing their own stats on there and everything. But they're that's the reason why you're the standard. So they give them a little, little tip.
Yeah.
After they put their stats out there.
I've I've come to realize I don't think Richard Sherman was as good as everybody thinks he is. Look how good that back seven was on that defense. The linebackers include. I mean, all the linebackers were good. The 2 safeties were good. You had, what was his name? Went to prison, but he was balling out.
Earl Thomas?
No.
Is that the one I'm thinking
No, the corner on the other side.
Oh, big boy. Brandon.
Boykins, maybe.
I thought it was like Brandon.
Browner.
Browner. There you go. Brandon Browner.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was balling out.
Yep.
Richard Sherman was playing. You had your 2 safeties. Bobby Wagner there. Was KJ Wright?
KJ Wright was there.
I mean, that back seven was so loaded up.
Right.
Even the D line was good, and I just don't think he was as good as. I think just that secondary was so studly that they all. I mean, I think that's where we saw Josh Norman's downfall, right? Once he got his massive contract, but Carolina's front seven was, and actually it wasn't even their back seven; it was their front defensive line that got after the quarterback. And then when he went to Washington, he got exposed because he wasn't a shutdown corner. He was the product of his D line, and I've started to realize I think Sherman's the same way, except it's flip flopped. The back coverage was so good that you got plenty of help with both your safeties.
Yep.
Your linebackers are good. Your D line was pretty solid still.
You couldn't even if you fuck up.
Yeah.
You have 2 bomb ass all pro safeties back there,
2
to catch you up, and anything in the flat, you just said, you had KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner there, right? So I'm with you on that part. I think he's always been, for a dude that hated on Russell Wilson so bad. I'm like, you should be kind of fucking giving a pat on the back and almost hey, sorry type of situation, because he kept you relevant for so many years. When that secondary started dropping off, like what you said, it was first Brandon Browner, right? When they started dropping off, and then they thought they could slide anyone into the Legion of Boom, right?
Right.
We saw that didn't happen that way.
It didn't happen. The offense was not great yet. You had Chris Carson always getting banged up. Marshawn Lynch was on his last legs. He had some flashes, but you had Tyler Lockett there, and until recently, DK Metcalf, right? You had Tyler Lockett, and then it was a point where you could start 2 tight ends from Seahawks and fantasy, because that was all they had to throw to, was those 2, and then Tyler Lockett. So, yeah, he kept them afloat for sure.
Yeah. Jalen Ramsey has every right to talk, though.
Oh yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Kind of wish he didn't all the time, but he's not wrong.
Right.
Right. All right, bro, you're not wrong. Is he like the DK Metcalf killer? I don't think DK's ever had a game against him, like a game. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of Josh Norman, did you ever see that? It says the greatest infamous photos of maybe in NFL history, and he has 4 where he's getting stiff armed out of the building. Have you seen that before? The 4.
I've seen some of his, yeah.
He just gets ran over, right?
yeah.
He was definitely more overrated than Sherman, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because after he left there, what he said, after he left the Panthers.
He's dog shit.
Exactly. When they turned into, hey, we need you to shut down side of the field. And we don't have a bunch of talent everywhere else, but we just want you to at least do that.
Yeah. So
no.
Then he threw a fit about money. Washington doled it out, and he sucked over there.
Yeah.
It was good for Des Bryant, I guess.
Hey, yeah.
Tyreek Hill says critics will be taking their words back on Tua Tagovailoa this year. And the critics are literally everybody. He said even the Twitter trolls, the writers, the other franchises around. You ready to eat your words on Tua?
No.
Yeah, I think I'm just ready to not hear about this anymore. The trade happened. It's cool, whatever. There was some stuff saying about Patrick Mahomes and whatever. It's not true. We know Patrick Mahomes and what he is, an all-pro, Super Bowl winning quarterback, going to go down as we're going to figure out a whole lot more about him this year. But I think he'll go down as one of the best quarterbacks to go down. I know we're Kansas City haters, but he is. I think he still will produce. He's going to have some weapons. He's going to, they won't be able to run the ball. He's going to throw a lot. He's going to get passing yards, and he's going to get accolades, I think.
I'm with you.
It's just, okay, now let's just wait till season comes out. And training camp, and you can show picks. But until somebody's guarding that guy, until somebody's rushing the passer, nothing means anything.
Here's the deal. If Tua doesn't have a fucking blowout year, there's definitely something wrong. Even an average quarterback should be able to do work with those two receivers, especially. But
And
that offense should be
Gesicki, too.
great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gesicki too. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, you have 100% legit, like possibly Pro Bowl, the other one is an All Pros style, and then Gesicki. You have everything that you've asked for, and you have a million running backs too. I think you signed like literally everybody, right, in Miami.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm with you there. What is a good enough season for you that you would think about eating your words, or at least you'd be like, hey, that's not bad. What would the stat line have to look like? How many passing yards? How many touchdowns?
I mean, I think he can look over 4,000 passing yards. I think the running
I think that's
backs
kind of
I don't think the running backs are as good as we think they are.
No, I think they
got
just have a stable of names.
They're just-
They got a stable of names that they'll rotate through, but I think with the weapons they have to throw the ball, I think over 4,000 yards is definitely a possibility. And to see him do that, I'd be like, okay.
That's where you'd be like, all right.
Yep, team success too. I mean, you want to see
10 wins at least, right?
You want to see him pushing for that wild card spot. So
Okay. So what would there have to be a touchdown mark with that too, though? Probably at least 25.
I'm sure it'll come with it. Yeah,
It'd come with 4,000
I think
yards.
so,
So
yeah.
you wouldn't even worry about that part. Gotcha.
Yeah, if you're getting 4,000 yards, you should be getting like 30 tutties or so, right?
4,000, I think, is a perfect number. Like where you're like, first off, that's almost like the standard. That's like whether you're a prolific passer in this league or not,
Yep.
right? So 4,000 would be the one. I'm like, all right, let's stop talking shit like he's Patrick Mahomes because he's not going to be that.
Right.
Even though you guys know I'm kind of a Tua guy, I want him to succeed. I mean, but that's not going to be the same level. Patrick Mahomes is he's already pushing definitely top 15 quarterbacks of all time sitting right now.
Right.
Right. So like anything he furthers on that, it's like he's gonna fall off a cliff here.
Well, and it's
in fact, he
fine
may
for-
only get better. Honestly, we've talked about this. He's gonna learn to see the whole field. He's gonna have to learn
instead
to
of
see the
those
whole
two,
field
yeah.
instead of just those two.
Yeah, it'll be fine for Tyreek to talk shit now, but he's a diva. So if he's not getting the passes, if he's not getting the yards, the whole accolades, everything,
Yep.
he's going to be the first one to throw a fit. So you give him all the praise you want to now. You're going to be the first one trashing him.
So
when you
you
guys struggle.
So you two are a little skeptical, of course, of Tua. I want him to succeed. I'm not saying I'm not skeptical. I just want him to succeed, I should say.
Mhm.
How do I want to word this? So do you think, okay, let's put it this way, because we're all fantasy guys. We all love fantasy, right? Do you want Tyreek as your number one? Do you want him, like if you had a pick of your number one wide receiver and they were all on the board of your favorites, would you want him over the rest?
No.
Would you feel comfortable with him even if he fell to you as your number one?
I mean,
Depends
I
on
could
where
roll
he
him out,
goes.
yeah. But I mean, if I have sitting picks 1 through 4, I'm not picking him.
He's not going to be probably first round, right? Shouldn't be.
The people we play with, somebody will pick him. I think.
Somebody
Should
will.
he
I
be?
get that, but I'm just
He
saying.
shouldn't be, no.
Let's say, let's say
He
we're
shouldn't
all
be.
like experts on there. He shouldn't be going in the first
no,
for sure.
No.
And maybe not even the early part of the second. You probably more like later, in my opinion, probably be like later second half of the second.
I could go back half of the second. I could go if I'm sitting there. I could go there. Yeah.
You'd be looking at him kind of like if you were the first overall pick on the turnaround at the end of the second. You would be happy with that, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
As long as you got a running back in the first one.
Well, that's the thing with Tyreek, though, too. Like, Tua doesn't have to chuck him. He can just get him in space, and
Yeah.
he's going to put up points for you in fantasy, right? So, yeah.
Which one do you want more? Real quick, and I'll move on.
Yeah.
Tyreek or Jalen Waddle?
Well, I would want Tyreek
You would want Tyreek over
over
that.
Jalen, yeah.
Okay. I assume the same for you, Rio?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yep.
We'll touch on our man who we were just talking to, his favorite team. The Orioles beat Skidding Angels for their first 8-game single-season winning streak since 2005.
They're rolling.
Yeah, they are.
Was that 17 years since the last time you had an 8? I'm not saying that's extremely easy to do anyways. I mean,
Yeah.
if we went through, I don't know what the... I don't know. I bet you it's easier than what we think. Like how many... 20 what did I just say? 17 years of that?
It's a long time, dude.
That's a long time.
And they're
16.
still under
16.
500, I think, right? So they're still not
That's
great
not
for
a-
the
not a
season,
great
but
roster.
they're on a roll. Yeah.
Right. They're building, right? Keep with the Angels, though. Angel star Shohei Ohtani named American League All-Star team as pitcher and hitter yet again. Not shocked.
Not shocked. He's done. Good season.
Stephen A. said he could not be the face of MLB.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember why he said that he can't
he's
be?
fucked up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Former Alabama running back Kalen Robinson's 2020 championship rings are listed for sale by a Las Vegas pawn shop, a.k.a. Pawn Stars, for $60,000. Robinson transferred to Texas from Alabama last year. He redshirted, or not redshirted, I'm sorry, he took COVID year off when that happened. So he didn't play that year that they got that championship.
He also is not the one listed as putting them up for sale, so meaning he sold them to somebody,
Yeah,
and
so,
then they're selling them.
so like secondary, because nobody knows if his uncle or anything like that. They have no idea like how they can cross them. There is an episode of it.
Must not be living that good nil life, huh? Having to do
that's
shit
all.
like
That's
that.
all you got for that. I thought a championship ring for Bama that there'd be somebody, someone, one of those. With all due respect, which I'm allowed to say. See, I caught it before this with one of those hicks from down south that would be like, yeah, I'll do it.
Them hicks from down south ain't gonna have 60 grams.
No, maybe not.
Touche.
Novak Djokovic defeats Nick Kyrgios to win his 7th Wimbledon title. He's also not going to be partaking in the U.S. Open because of his COVID shots.
Yep, will not take the COVID shot, so he won't play. And I thought we were over this, but we are not.
Yeah, evidently.
Stud.
I'm still listening. Yeah, well, that's the only reason why old boy got one and was at the Australian Open.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why he got it. Is because that man who was on one of the hottest streaks at the time couldn't partake in it because of a vaccination status.
Right.
Yep.
So I heard on the radio by a few different. I still literally hear this on the radio like this too. Anytime something like this comes up, he just needs to get his shots. Like I didn't know it was. I didn't know that was still like a thing. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I know it is in Canada, the Great White North.
Yeah, and across the world, I mean, it kind of is. People were that still get your shots to go places and whatnot, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird for sure.
He's got to weigh it out. He doesn't think it's worth it. So,
He's stuck. He has stuck to it, so it isn't like it's.
yeah.
Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice joins the Denver Broncos' new ownership group, according to it's Rob Walton, whatever, one of the rich Walmart guys. Nice piece. But we'll skip to Tony Romo. Wins his 3rd American Century Celebrity title in a playoff. He also won at Edgewood Tahoe in 2018 and 19. One hell of a golfer.
One
Sounds
hell
like
of an announcer. One hell of a golfer.
Hang up the
Above
gloves,
average
announce more.
quarterback?
Definitely. Nah, I think he's better than that.
No, he's better than that.
Yeah.
I was even trying to full bait you. Yeah, I've already
I
said that.
I think he's better than that. I don't think we realize how bad the Cowboys defense was over those years.
I do. He got shortchanged because you weren't even paying this man who was undrafted, right? Or was it like late round?
I think
he was undrafted.
He was undrafted, right?
Yeah.
So you were getting away with peanuts on nothing for pay, right?
Yeah.
Forever. And yes, eventually you did have to pay him,
Yep.
absolutely. But during that time, you couldn't even put
Together a great team for him. No,
right. There's people that love and drool off of getting that quarterback, like for instance, Justin Herbert, or they did it with Patrick Mahomes.
yeah. By the time we got that good team around him, it was end of his career. Injuries were starting to play a major role. Unfortunately, so
He showed one hell of a warrior spirit with me, like especially at that tail end, because he wasn't a broken rib. I think we talked about it, San Francisco.
Yeah.
And he went
Yeah.
back. He went back into it or something like that, and fought through that in that game. Granted, I think is that when Dak was on the team. Someone was breathing
I
down,
think
half-ass breathing
yeah.
down his neck,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, he come in, but then Dak ended up playing whatever they went 13 and whatever, and then playoff game they rode with Dak still. So
Pittsburgh Steelers home venue to become Acrisure Stadium, ending 2 decades as Heinz Field.
Yuck.
Yeah.
What?
Why?
Like, how could they not figure something out there, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, why wouldn't Pittsburgh? I understand it's all about money. I get that. But to a certain extent, it's like, hold on. We're also used to calling this a certain thing. Like, we'll give you a discount.
It's a year of changes.
Staples Center, whatever they
Staples,
went to.
yeah.
What was that?
Crypto.
Crypto.
Yeah. Year of changes. Everybody's offended. Everybody wants to change.
Who doesn't like ketchup?
Mustard lovers.
Mustard
No,
lovers?
that's what it is. The mustard lobby come in there. demanding
French's?
change.
French's?
Yep.
Yeah.
Saboteurs.
Damn.
Saboteurs.
Conspiracy corner, Rio.
Yep. I'm on it.
Dodgers Stadium concession workers threaten strike ahead of the All-Star game. Evidently, I can't remember the number off the top of my head. It's over 1,000 workers. And I guess they're part of a union that's based out of Chicago. They don't know the demands yet.
That's what I was going to say. What are they?
I assume it's pay.
Yeah.
Or more vacation time, right? It's got to be one of those.
Yeah. Nah, what are you talking about? You get.
That's the best time to do it, though, right? Because it's like the first time in like 42 years that the All-Star game has been at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah. We want dollar conies. Okay. Free drinks.
Free drinks, yes.
And for my final one is NBA Board of Governors expected to vote to make play-in tournament permanent. What are we thinking there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it keeps. I think it ups the viewers for the NBA. You know, your team still has a shot. I think, right, even you can still lose one and still have a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it's good for NBA for sure.
I think they produced actually some of the better games. The only thing so I like it, but the only thing I don't like is that when a team like the Lakers still technically have a shot at that, you know what I'm saying, to the end, like that's what the news was, like,
Right,
until they were officially out.
Right, because, I mean, in the back of your mind, you probably were like, man, they've had the players to be able to get hot at the right time. And
You just got to make the dance, right?
yeah.
One other thing that just came across here recently, I should say, is that your guy, former Dallas Cowboy and Chicago Bear running back Marion Barber, died of a heat stroke.
Yes, I did see that.
Oh, that's what it ended up being. Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I do have something, and I want you to look this up, Jimmer.
Okay.
Did you see the trophy for the WNBA All-Star Game MVP?
No.
You need to look this up.
WNBA.
I'll show you.
All-Star Game MVP.
Speaking of trophies, Garner won that big trophy that was like 9 foot tall, right?
Yeah.
The trophies for second and third place were like small toilet bowl trophies.
The one on the left. That's the trophy she got.
Okay, I'm not.
That's like a $10 Dollar Tree trophy, bro.
Maybe it's all brass, man.
Dude,
maybe
it's
all
fucking
sterling
terrible.
silver.
It is terrible.
What is that?
Slim and
What
slim
is
and
that?
sleek. Slim and sleek.
Slim and sleek.
Dude,
Right?
Dude, if they have something that they want to complain about, tell me that isn't a little sexist because that looks like a fucking tea kettle.
Dude, yeah. It's rough.
That thing that's cute. Hold on. But this one chick that's holding it here, that's bigger than that one.
I'm
I
saying,
guess it's all depending on the size of your hand,
yeah,
right?
That girl's just big.
Yeah, she just
That girl's just thick with a couple
Just-
seeds.
you got an ogre holding that trophy or something over here. What the
Yeah,
hell?
like that. She may just make that trophy look small.
No, it's tiny. They forgot to bring the trophy and had somebody run to Target, dude. That's what happened.
That's what happened.
Okay, and it's fucking terrible. But the other thing I was gonna say was, it looks like the Pistons are gonna try to sign Miles Bridges. Isn't he the one that was in mega trouble?
Yes. Yeah.
They're just, we don't give a fuck.
Well, it's got to be.
Like,
We're at that point, right? I did hear something. I don't see it on here yet. I don't know if you guys did see that. I heard the NFL, the NFLPA are sending their their own findings or this, that, and the other about their Deshaun Watson's case to like whatever some judge to see whether she believes that he should be suspended or not. Suspended or not, not a number of games. Suspended or not.
If this shit gets a 0 game,
0. They may start fires, dude.
God.
Right? They're trampling the town.
Well,
that literally came across on Sirius XM Sports.
Texans have got to be pissed then, So you said a year, right? So
yeah.
Right.
Geez.
And then my strange law, gentlemen. In Carmel, New York, a man can't go outside while wearing a jacket and pants that do not match.
Classy.
I like it.
All right.
I would say I kind of like that one. Then we don't have to see these ridiculous NBA outfits.
What's the punishment?
Death.
Not enough. It should be.
Fucking
Yeah.
Stoned in the city square or
Stoned
something?
in City Square.
Right.
Man, you have to take 100 golden showers for people you don't know.
What's golden showers?
You're looking dead serious into that camera right now, like you haven't partaken in one or two yourself.
Never.
We've heard stories,
Wetworks.
bro.
Wetworks, found under
Craigslist.
Wetworks.
Wetworks. And
Hey, we need to
Craigslist.
figure out what we're doing here. I have a full bladder.
You used to listen to a lot of R. Kelly, and we know it. All
Hey,
right.
man. You're killing me, right?
That's what I got, gentlemen.
Boom.
Okay. All right.
One of you guys got to make sense. I thought one of you
I
did.
do.
Yeah, I was saying. I
I
thought you had one from the other day.
I haven't been able to use it. Just because we've had some guests and whatnot. So I'll use it. Yeah. So I bought a slip and slide for my kids, right? And I put this thing out in the backyard and staked it down. I put stakes in it so it wouldn't blow away, right? And so the wind wouldn't steal it, right? That's not who I had to worry about, though. There is a bunch of apartments next door. And apparently, they like to steal things. Because allegedly. Looked outside like the next day, and the hose had been unhooked from it, and it was gone. Not there. And it's like, what the hell?
It couldn't have blown away.
Right. It was staked down with
Yeah.
like 8 stakes. It was like, what the hell is going on? Kind of look around. Kind of were like, did it blow away by chance? And looking around, look across the street at the apartment complex, and what is stretched out in the lawn, staked to the ground.
They took your fucking stakes,
They
dude.
took my fucking stakes. They fucking staked this bitch down. They took the damn slip and slide. No water hooked up to it. I don't know if they were just peeing on it and going, and I don't know what the hell was going on. But they straight up jacked that shit and just stretched it out beside the apartment complex like, oh, that's they were trying to get rid of it. Yeah, no, that's not the case. They took that shit.
Oh, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Did you walk over there and get it?
Yeah, I snatched that shit back up.
Yeah. That's kind of rude. Why don't you just take your hose over for him?
Right. Run
What
the
hell's
water
your
across the street.
problem? Yeah, run
Yeah.
across the street.
Just
No
give them a
kidding.
day of fun, yeah?
No
How
kidding.
do? And I could be assuming wrong altogether here, by the way. But how do the parents not look outside? Like, where the fuck did you get that?
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? Like, if my kids brought something like that and it's up in my yard and I know I don't have one.
Yeah.
Bro, the parents staked it down.
I don't know.
Okay?
Probably.
This is a
There's
collusion.
I don't know. There's some shady people over there. Freaking, they got Orion pretty good the other day. So we went outside and they let our dog Mavis off the leash. But the lady hollers over. And I let the dog in or whatever. And the boys are outside with her. And she's like, "Was that your little black dog?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, she pooed over here." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And Orion's like, "No, she didn't. She didn't run over there." And I'm like, "What? I don't know. Like, maybe she did." He's like, "No, I was watching the whole time." So I'm like, "Get a plastic bag. Maybe she ran over there, Orion,
Shut up.
you wear glasses, right?"
Shut up.
So yeah, we walk over there. She's like, "Yeah, your dog pooed right there in front of the deal." No, she didn't. This poop was like freaking weeks old, hard and crusted up. It wasn't even. I was like, I don't fucking think so. Get the hell out of here. You can eat shit.
No, he did. He did.
Did you leave it there?
I picked it up and I put it on the front doorstep.
Yes.
So yeah, fuck that shit. Just weird people next door.
Like we're not.
This
I
ain't
don't think
happening.
you guys are gonna get along, are you?
Oh yeah, we are.
We are.
Mhm.
You guys doing?
They get
real
along
well?
good.
Yeah, great. No, I'm
Rio's
gonna make
very forgiving.
very forgiving, but my German Shepherd isn't. So I'm gonna make the run a little longer so she can reach the edge of the sidewalk. So come on over if you want. I guess.
I highly recommend you don't do that. Even when you know the guy and you go in there,
She is not personable.
She's
yeah.
protective.
Yeah, what's that, like, kind of hellhoundish? Like, what are you going in to see Chris for?
Not friendly.
Chris was
not
evidently
friendly.
on the pooper at that time. Scared the shit out of me.
I've been known to do that in my house. Words of wisdom, if you're gonna steal something, at least hide it. I guess I don't know. Like, come on,
Put it in the backyard.
Yeah, somewhere else that the party that you took it from. Like, be a better thief. I guess I don't know. Yeah, be nice to your neighbors. God damn it.
Yeah, maybe don't steal.
Yeah,
Let's
don't
do that.
steal. Don't steal. Be nice to your neighbors. Like I was saying, like, I wouldn't mind if the boys were out and the kids want to come over and play on it, but don't take it and then.
I know what happened. So it's notorious. I guess people in Des Moines do this, but they probably came over, put a free sign on the slip and slide,
And then
and came around the block and picked it up.
there you
Yeah.
go.
You shouldn't have been trying to give it
I don't
away
know.
for free.
It's a weird neighborhood. There was a bike that was just dumped in our yard, so I just lifted it. Like, I leaned it against like the tree or whatever, or my boat. I'm like, okay, I don't know.
I don't know whose this is.
Yeah,
Maybe you didn't. You've only been over there for what, a year?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe you didn't realize
quite.
that neighborhood is very neighborhood friendly and they share their stuff.
Sharon
you
is
get that memo?
Karen, even if it is old lady.
Sharon is care. She tried to share the food
Makes
with you.
sense if you don't think about
Yeah,
it.
makes sense.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to go ahead and start to wrap her up, ladies and gentlemen. So if you found the podcast anywhere out there on the interwebs, make sure you like, subscribe, share, give us a rating. That really helps us expand our reach. The podcast is available where, Jimmer?
Anywhere and everywhere you possibly think of. Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music. What else we got? iHeartRadio. We're everywhere. Just
Everywhere that you could find your podcast. Absolutely. And we love to tell a good story. If you've got something you want us to share, go ahead and slide on in.
To our DMs, get us that story. We'll get it out to all the folks that want to hear it. We can omit names, whatever you want. And we're going to get that story out to all the folks as well.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a workout app, download Fitbod. It generates workouts, shows you how to do new lifts, tracks your workouts. You can use our code 3GIG for 25% off. Download that Fitbod.
Don't forget code 3GIG for 25% off, folks. All right.
We are, less than a month out?
Yeah, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. North Iowa fights, 30th. One hell of a card. I think he has 3 pro fights again, right? At the top. I mean, not again, but he had more in the last one, but still stacking up to be pretty damn good. I thought he was bringing another one. Is it from Nick Diaz's academy? Is this one that he filmed?
I don't know. We'll see how that turns out, but yeah, going to be a good card coming up here in 2 weeks or so.
There we go.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is 3GIG Sports.
We out.
Discussions, I've been writing, I love it.